Let me ask you something. What happens when the one person you thought was your everything suddenly decides you're not enough? Do you beg, chase, and try to convince her to come back? I know it hurts, but here's the hard truth. Desperation isn't the answer. The more you beg, the faster she pulls away. Desperation is like a magnet for repulsion. It pushes her further and faster than you realize. The moment she feels like you need her more than you respect yourself, attraction fades and respect is lost. Women are drawn to men who have control, who hold their own power. They fall for men who are out of reach, not because they beg for affection. So what's the real secret to winning her back? It's not chasing her, it's disappearing. Stop trying to explain, stop asking for closure, just vanish and let the silence speak louder than any words ever could. You may think this is about making her miss you, but no, this is about something much more profound. It's about reclaiming your confidence, your independence, and your value. When you stop seeking validation from someone who walked away, you start to radiate a power that's impossible to ignore. And that's when she begins to question everything. Did she make the biggest mistake of her life? Like this video if you're ready to take control of your life. Subscribe for more strategies on power, resilience, and attraction. And comment below with, I am in control of my emotions. Number 1. Why begging destroys attraction? Instantly. The moment you start begging, it's over. It doesn't matter how deep your history goes, how much love you feel, or how strong the bond once was. The second you plead, she sees weakness, and weakness is a killer for attraction. Women are attracted to strength, confidence, and a man who knows his worth and doesn't let anyone take it away. When you beg her to come back, you're saying, I can't live without you. My happiness depends on you. And that's the ultimate turn-off. She wants a man she has to work for, not someone who needs her just to survive. When you act like she's on a pedestal above you, guess what? She starts to believe it too. Think about it. If a powerful man of high value were rejected, do you think he'd fall apart? Do you think he'd beg for a second chance? Absolutely not. He'd walk away with his head held high, knowing that his worth doesn't depend on one person's opinion. But when you chase her, when you beg, when you try to convince her of your value, you're telling her, you're my everything. I need you to feel complete. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to turn her off. Let's get real. Attraction is rooted in respect. The moment she stops respecting you, she stops feeling anything for you. Nice guys, the ones who bend over backward to please, don't win in the long run. They give away their value without earning it. It's too easy, and she loses respect. The men who walk away, the ones who stand firm and refuse to settle for anything less than respect. Those are the men who stay on her mind long after she's gone. Take a moment and think about your own life. Who do you respect more? The person who's constantly seeking your approval, doing whatever it takes to please you, or the person who's confident, self-assured, and doesn't need your validation to know their value? The answer is obvious. Respect is earned through strength, not submission. If she truly respected you, she wouldn't have left. If she truly cared, she wouldn't have made you question your worth in the first place. So, instead of chasing after someone who discarded you, prove your worth to yourself. Let her see what life is like without you. Nothing makes a woman second-guess her decision faster than realizing the man she let go wasn't desperate. He was disciplined. The most powerful men in history never begged for attention. They commanded it. And you? You're no different. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you move on. And in doing so, you become the man she regrets walking away from. Like this video if you refuse to chase anyone's approval, subscribe for more powerful insights, and comment below, I do not chase, I attract. Number 2, the power of the silent exit. When words fail, silence becomes your loudest statement. And when she walks away, the most powerful thing you can do isn't to beg, argue, or try to explain yourself. It's to simply vanish. No final text, no desperate calls, just total, complete absence. Because here's the thing, most men do the exact opposite. They send long texts begging for closure, they call hoping for a response, or they show up where she's at, pretending it's just a coincidence. And every time, they make themselves less valuable in her eyes. Why? Because nothing screams desperation more than a man who can't walk away. The more accessible you are, the less attractive you become. But when you disappear, when you give her absolutely nothing but silence, you force her to face the weight of her decision. That's when the doubt creeps in. Why? Because deep down, every woman expects a man to chase after her when she pulls away. She expects you to text, to ask why, to show you care. But when you don't do anything, when you disappear completely, leaving her wondering if you even needed her, her mind begins to turn. Why hasn't he reached out? Did he ever really care? Is he already moving on? Those thoughts will slowly gnaw at her. It won't happen immediately, but eventually. The longer you stay silent, the more powerful your absence becomes. This isn't about playing games, it's about preserving your self-respect. A man who knows his value doesn't chase someone who walked away. He lets them go, no explanations, no begging. He simply vanishes. Because a man who understands his worth knows that his role isn't to convince someone to stay, but to show them the true cost of losing him. And when she realizes you're really gone, when she sees that your world didn't stop, that you didn't beg or fall apart, that's when the regret begins. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day, she'll wonder if she made the biggest mistake of her life. And when that moment comes, it won't be because you begged. It won't be because you bombarded her with late-night texts or desperate attempts. It'll be because your absence spoke louder than anything you could have ever said. Let her wonder. Let her miss you. Let her regret walking away from what she had. In the meantime, focus on yourself. Build your life. Grow. Evolve. Because the best revenge isn't proving her wrong. It's proving to yourself that you never needed her in the first place. Like this video, if you understand the power of silence, subscribe for more wisdom on self-mastery and attraction, and comment below with, "My absence speaks louder than words." Number 3. Mastering your emotions the Stoic way. Pain is inevitable, but suffering, that's a choice. Right now, your emotions might feel like an uncontrollable storm, chaotic, overwhelming, pulling you in all directions. But here's the brutal truth. A man who can't control his emotions will always be controlled by others. And if she sees that she can crush you simply by walking away, then she owns you. This is where most men go wrong. They let their emotions lead them, acting out of anger, sadness, or desperation. They send impulsive texts, hoping for a response. They lash out, saying things they'll regret. Or worse, they sit in self-pity, waiting for a woman who has already moved on. But a Stoic man, he does the opposite. He doesn't react. He doesn't break down. He doesn't allow anyone, especially not a woman, to control his state of mind. Picture yourself as a mountain. The winds can howl, the rain can pour, but the mountain, it remains unshaken. That's the kind of emotional control you need to cultivate. Because the moment you master your emotions, you become untouchable. She can leave. She can ignore you. She can try to provoke a reaction, but you stay calm, indifferent, unreadable, and that drives people insane. Why? Because uncertainty is the most powerful psychological weapon. The second she can't predict you, the second she can't read you, you become a mystery, and people obsess over what they can't understand. When she expects you to break down and instead you stay composed, her mind starts spinning. Did he ever love me? Is he already over me? Why isn't he fighting for me? That's when you flip the power dynamic. That's when she starts chasing you. But let's be clear, this isn't an act. It's not about pretending to be strong while secretly hoping she'll come back. It's about genuinely mastering yourself. Become the kind of man who doesn't need anyone's validation, especially hers. A man who finds peace in solitude, who doesn't crumble when things don't go his way. A man who understands that his happiness is his responsibility and that this is the highest form of power. So, when your emotions try to take over, when you feel the urge to react, stop, breathe. Ask yourself, will this action serve me? Will it make me stronger? Or am I letting someone else control my mind? If the answer is no, walk away. Let her feel your absence. Let her wonder. Let her regret. But most importantly, let yourself evolve. Because once you master your emotions, you don't just win her back, you win back your own life. Like this video, if you refuse to let emotions control you. Subscribe for more powerful lessons on discipline, attraction, and self-mastery. And comment below, I control my emotions do not control me. Number 4, the power of the unpredictable mind. Become an enigma. When someone knows exactly how you'll react, what you'll do next, and how much they still hold power over you, the intrigue fades. The truth is, people lose interest when they have you figured out. If you want to regain control, stop being so predictable. The key isn't to constantly prove your worth, it's to transform into someone she can't figure out, someone who keeps her guessing. Here's where most men fail. They wear their hearts on their sleeves. They're transparent, always texting and checking in, looking for reassurance. They believe being open and honest will win her back. But that's a fatal mistake. If she knows you're waiting, if she senses how much you care, there's no tension, no mystery. It's like an open book with no pages left to turn. There's nothing exciting left for her to discover. But when you switch things up, when you become unpredictable, that's when you turn the tables. You see, women don't obsess over the men they can predict. They obsess over the ones they can't. The moment she's unsure about your next move, the moment she starts to wonder, why hasn't he texted? What's he doing? Is he moving on? You've got her attention. That's when her curiosity peaks and she starts rethinking everything. So how do you become that elusive figure? It's simple. Stop making yourself so available. If she's expecting you to beg, pull away. If she thinks you'll chase after her, let her feel your absence. If she believes you'll crumble, stay calm, remain composed. And when she reaches out, don't respond immediately. Make her pause, make her wonder what's going on. Let her chase a little, because the second she starts chasing, the balance of power shifts. This isn't about playing games. It's about positioning yourself as someone who's not easily owned, not easily predicted. Men who are too available lose their value. Men who make themselves too obvious lose their charm. But a man who remains unpredictable, he stays on her mind long after he's out of sight. He forces her to reconsider, to reevaluate, and that's when regret sets in. Here's the key. Mystery breeds attraction. If she can't figure you out, she can't stop thinking about you. And when her mind starts spinning about you, that's when you've already won. Like this video if you understand the power of mystery. Subscribe for more insights on attraction and self-mastery, and drop a comment below. I am an enigma she can't solve. Number 5. Leveling up in silence. A man who talks about his progress only weakens it. But a man who elevates himself in silence becomes unstoppable. Right now, emotions may tempt you to prove something, to show her how well you're doing, to make her regret her decision. But here's the truth. If you have to announce your growth, you're not truly growing. Too many men fall into this trap. They post pictures, drop hints on social media, hoping she'll notice and be impressed. They make changes just to prove a point, still seeking validation. But that's not leveling up, that's performing, and she can see right through it. True transformation doesn't need an audience. It happens in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you focus on your growth for your own sake, not to make her regret losing you, not for revenge, but because you refuse to stay the same. This is the dividing line between the strong and the weak. While others are stuck in self-pity, waiting for things to change, you rise. While they're stuck looking backward, you move forward, because the best form of revenge, success. But not the kind you flaunt, it's the kind that speaks for itself. Fast forward a month from now. When she looks you up, when she hears about what you've become, she won't recognize the man she left behind. She'll see someone who is now out of reach, and that's when the loss hits her, not when you're trying to make her jealous, but when she realizes that you've outgrown her. Think of yourself like a king who's rebuilding his empire. He doesn't send out letters for approval. He doesn't beg for recognition. He simply works in silence. And when the world finally sees the result of his efforts, it's too late to come back. That's the kind of energy you need to adopt. So stop talking. Stop trying to be noticed. Let your actions and results speak for themselves. A man who levels up quietly becomes someone she can never forget. Like this video if you choose self-growth over validation. Subscribe for more insights on power, discipline, and transformation, and drop a comment below. My growth is silent, but my results are impossible to ignore. Number 6. Rewriting your own story. She will regret it. Regret doesn't hit all at once. It creeps up slowly, over time, when she realizes that the man she left behind is no longer the same. But here's the truth. You don't reach this point by simply waiting for her to regret her decision. You get there by rewriting your own story, by shifting the balance of power and evolving into the man she never saw coming. Right now, she thinks she knows you. She assumes that deep down, you're still waiting, still hurting, and still hoping she'll come back. As long as she holds on to that belief, there's no reason for her to question her decision. But the moment she hears about you, when she sees that you're thriving, not just pretending to be okay, but actually growing, that's when the doubt starts creeping in. The truth is, women don't regret leaving the man they knew. They regret losing the man he becomes after she's gone. When she realizes your world didn't fall apart, when she sees that you didn't crumble, that you didn't chase after her, that's when her perspective changes. Not because you tried to prove anything, but because your growth rendered her irrelevant. Think about it for a second. What hurts more? Watching your ex desperately trying to get your attention, or realizing they've moved so far beyond you that you're not even on their radar anymore? It's always the latter, because indifference is the deepest wound. Once she realizes you've detached, once she understands she no longer holds power over you, she'll begin to crave it again. And that's when the regret begins to set in. She'll replay the past. She'll second-guess herself. She'll ask, did I make a mistake? Could I still get him back if I wanted to? And that uncertainty, it will haunt her more than anything you could say. But here's the kicker. By the time she regrets it, you won't even care anymore. You'll be too focused on your own journey, too busy living your life to even look back. And that's where true power lies. Not in getting her back, not in proving a point, but in becoming a man who never needed her in the first place. Like this video if you're focused on moving forward, not looking back. Subscribe for more insights on power, growth, and attraction, and comment below. She lost me, not the other way around. Number 7. When she comes back. mastering the art of indifference. She will come back. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually, curiosity will get the best of her. She'll send a casual text, something like, "Hey, how's everything?" She'll like an old post, hoping it catches your attention. She might even bring up a shared memory, testing the waters. In that moment, you'll have a choice. Do you fall into the trap, or do you stay untouchable? Many men make the mistake of jumping the gun, thinking, "She regrets it, she wants me back." And just like that, they undo all the progress they've made. They respond too quickly, sounding too eager and too available. The moment she senses that, she knows she still has the upper hand. But a man with true strength, a man who understands his worth, responds differently. He doesn't react impulsively. He doesn't need closure. He doesn't hand over his power. When she reaches out, he knows that it doesn't mean she's ready to commit. Sometimes she's only testing the waters, checking if she can still get a reaction from you, seeing if you're still an option. And the moment you show her that you are, the game is lost. She'll lose interest just as quickly as she came back. So when she contacts you, stay composed. Respond if you choose to, but take your time. Let her feel the uncertainty she made you feel. Keep your response brief. Keep it neutral. Most importantly, keep your emotions out of it. If she tries to stir up old feelings, don't engage. If she asks to meet up, make her work for it. If she truly wants back in, she needs to prove her worth, not the other way around. Here's the key. A woman values what she has to earn. If you roll out the red carpet when she returns, she'll take you for granted again. But if she senses that you've changed, that you no longer need her, that you've moved on, that's when the tables turn. She'll start to chase, wondering if she made a mistake. But by then, you might be too far ahead to care, and that, my friend, is the real victory. Not getting her back, but realizing you never needed her in the first place. True indifference isn't about pretending, it's a mindset, a reflection of your self-worth. When you embody this indifference, you don't just get respect, you become the kind of man that no woman will ever want to lose again. Like this video if you refuse to settle as a backup. Subscribe for more insights on power and self-mastery, and comment below, "I am the prize, not the pursuer." Number 8. Your new mindset, the man she can't ignore. By now you've done what most men fail to do. You didn't beg, you didn't chase, you didn't lose yourself trying to prove your worth. Instead, you evolved. You became the kind of man who doesn't just survive heartbreak, he thrives because of it. Something has shifted within you. You no longer care if she comes back. You no longer replay the past in your mind, wondering where things went wrong. Because here's the truth. You've outgrown her. The man you are today is not the same man she left behind, and that's exactly what makes you impossible to ignore. You see, most men get stuck in the past. They keep holding on to what was, hoping for a second chance with someone who already moved on. But high-value men don't look back. They move forward. They grow. They reach a point where their time, energy, and focus are too valuable to waste on someone who once doubted them. And that shift in mindset is what makes her take notice. Here's the cold, hard reality. Women are drawn to men who make them feel lucky to be with them. The moment she realizes you no longer need her, that your life is filled with purpose, ambition, and excitement, she starts to question everything. She starts wondering why she let you go. She wonders if she could still have you, and that uncertainty is what makes her rethink her decision. But here's the most important part. You don't let that validation get to you. You don't break your silence just because she starts showing interest. You don't rush to reply to her texts the moment she reaches out. Because you've changed. You're not living for her attention. You're not seeking her approval anymore. You've become the kind of man who doesn't just attract one woman, he attracts many. That's what makes you powerful. Not playing mind games, not pretending to be indifferent, but genuinely focusing on your personal growth so much that the past no longer holds you. When you reach this place, you become the kind of man she can't ignore. Like this video if you choose to move forward and not dwell in the past. Subscribe for more lessons on attraction, self-mastery and power, and comment below, I am a man of value, with or without her. Number 9. The final lesson. You never needed her anyway. There's a hard truth that most men take way too long to realize. You never needed her, not in the way you thought, not in the way your emotions convinced you did. What you truly needed was to lose her so you could find yourself. And now you see it for what it really is. In the beginning, it felt like she was everything, like she completed you, like without her, something vital was missing. But that wasn't the reality. That was the illusion of attachment. The lie society tells men, that your happiness, your purpose, your worth should be tied to a relationship. But now you know better. Through the silence, through the detachment, and through rebuilding yourself, you've come to a profound realization. She was never the prize, you were. The moment you stopped chasing someone who left, the moment you started focusing on your growth instead of needing external validation, everything shifted. And now, look at yourself. You've leveled up. You're mentally stronger, emotionally resilient, and your life no longer revolves around one person's approval. And that is the real victory. Not getting her back, not making her regret losing you, but becoming so strong and secure in your own value that the thought of needing her seems ridiculous. That's the essence of true Stoicism: detachment, discipline, self-mastery. Not just in relationships, but in all aspects of life, in how you handle setbacks, how you face challenges, and how you carry yourself, unmoved, composed, always in control. And that's what makes a man powerful. That's what makes a man unforgettable. When she comes back, and she will, you won't have to think twice. You'll already know the answer because you're no longer the man who waits. You're the man who chooses, and more often than not, you'll choose yourself. Like this video if you've embraced your own strength. Subscribe for more insights on resilience, attraction, and self-mastery. And leave a comment below. I am free. I am unshaken. I am unstoppable. You've made it this far, which means you're ready. Ready to stop chasing, ready to stop begging, ready to step into the kind of power that most men will never even know. Because now you understand the truth. The goal was never to win her back. The goal was to reclaim yourself. And you did. You broke free from the emotions that used to control you. You stopped seeking her validation. You became the kind of man who doesn't just survive heartbreak, he uses it to evolve. That's what separates the strong from the weak, the lost from the found, the unforgettable from the forgotten. But remember, this journey isn't over. It's just the beginning. The real challenge is staying on this path, choosing self-respect over desperation, choosing purpose over distractions, choosing discipline over weakness. If you do that, no woman, no situation, no loss will ever shake you again. Now it's your turn. If you're committed to becoming a man of value, hit that like button. If you want to keep learning how to master your emotions, mindset, and relationships, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And before you go, drop this in the comments. I am the master of my fate. I am the ruler of my mind. Because once you truly believe that, nothing can stop you.